Good morning, Miss Nikki. Nikki, you were the first one to join this morning. How you doing this morning? How are you doing this morning? Ow, please. Good morning. Good morning, Jules. Good morning, Jimmy Gale. Good morning, Martha. Good morning, Lynn. Ow. Good morning, Nana. Good morning, Irie. Good morning, y'all. Get your coffee out, y'all. Let's have some coffee. It is Monday morning. Got some good sleep. Awesome. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Blazer's saying good morning this morning. Blazer is saying good morning. So we're going to have some fun this morning. You want to go to kennel? Stop scratching my leg. I had nails are sharp. Nails are sharp this morning, y'all. It's like, no. Thanks for the heart me. Thanks for the heart me. He's like, hey, I'm going to get you. Yep. Gonna be one of those days. I already gave you your treat. You already got your treat. You wanted it early, so you got it early. Come here. He's like, no, I'm going to be a pain. I'm going to give you. Good morning, Deb. Good morning, Dee. Good morning, y'all. So I have, hold on. Go. Dog. Go get that. All right. Fine, you're going to the kennel. If you're going to sit there and bark. Here, have some fun. Chew on that. Maybe. Hopefully. Hold on, be right back. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, so this morning we are going to be doing some placemats. We're going to be doing some placemats. I have the fun sunflower fabric that we're going to be doing placemats with. But I wanted to share something with y'all. So let's share a little history. So my grandmother, so I told y'all my grandmother quilted. So this book, I don't know if any of y'all have this book. It's Lone Star, A Legacy of Texas Quilts, 1836 to 1936. Okay. This goes back. This completely goes back. But I want to share something with y'all. So if you go to page 120, 121, there is a quilt in here. So there is a quilt in here. This is the quilt. And y'all, it traveled the world. This quilt traveled the world. And so my grandmother, Inez Lee is my grandmother. So in here it says 1895 to 1910, a piece by Laura Marie Ott Myers, quilted 1970 by Inez Lee. That's my grandmother. That is my grandmother. So my grandmother is in a book and she quilted this quilt. Back in 1970, it says the woman who pieced this quilt was born in 1853 in Mississippi, married in 1879 in Louisiana, and came to Texas in 1880 with her husband, father, and mother, 8 brothers and sister, her mother's half-brother, and a young friend and neighbor. She was pregnant with her first son during the 9 weeks of travel it took to reach Erath County. The present owner of the quilt, Iona D. Tanner Smith, daughter of the man whose birth is celebrated, had the top quilted in 1970 to preserve it. Her husband's aunt, Inez Lee. How cool is that? She's like a part of history. She is a part of history. Quilted it in a simple rainbow pattern, bound it and bring it back around the front and stitched it down. So if y'all want to know, she said the rainbow pattern. Okay. Good morning, Riki. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. So it was like a rainbow pattern. So the way she was able to do that rainbow pattern is you take a piece of yarn, piece of string, you tie a piece of chalk to it. So and you take one side and you hold it down, and then you take and you just go around like this. Move it down a little bit, go around like this. I'm doing good, just exhausted. How are you? It was good. I had a good weekend. It was good. It was good. So anyways, check this out. If anybody has this, you have a piece of my history. You got a piece of my history. So, but anyways, let's get going, y'all. Let's get going. So what are we going to do? So we're going to be making some placemats today. And the placemats that we're going to be making today, we're going to do a little differently. We're going to do a little differently. Get your coffee out because we're fixing to have some fun. We are fixing to have some fun. So I've cut out the back side of them. And placemats are, good morning, Mary. How are you? Placemats 12 by 18. I do placemats 12 by 18. Okay. So the backing of it, I already have cut out. I've got 4 of the backings that are 12 by 18. And I just realized I need batting. Hold on. And we're going to do these. I was trying to be prepared. I was close. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to use this batting. It's fine. It'll work. So you need the front or the back piece, which is 12 by 18. And I've got 4 of those cut. And then I also have something else cut. SF 101. Who knows what SF 101 is? So I have got some SFF 101 because we're going to have some fun. I'm going to get the AccuQuilt out and we're going to be doing some cutting of some fun fabric. So, but I've also got 4 of the SF 101. Right, Bev? This is some fun stuff. And I'm fixing to show y'all what we're going to do with this. We're going to have some fun with this. And we're going to have some fun with some yellow. What fabric are we using? What fabric are we using, y'all? So let me put this back here. Let's go ahead and cut and you know what? I'm just going to take one of these and we're going to cut one out right quick. Let's cut one out right quick here. Zoom. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to trim around it anyways. So I'm going to go here. And then we're going to get the AccuQuilt cutter out. Then we're going to get and y'all are going to be like, we're using that fun fabric. Y'all, we're going to have some fun with this. So now we have the batting to go with it. So let's get the fabric cut out because then y'all are going to see what we're going to do with the SF 101. It's a totally new, different way of doing a project. And you can do any kind of thing with this. So we're going to get this out. So we're going to get the AccuQuilt cutter out. Who has an AccuQuilt cutter? Who likes to use their AccuQuilt cutter? I'm going to give you so many different ideas to do with your AccuQuilt cutter. So many different ideas. Put those down. Open up. Put that down a little bit. Let me get the power cord. We need power. I think we may have to turn it around the other way. Turn it around the other way. Okay, we have power now. 1.5 power. Okay, power that up. And the dye I'm going to use, I'm going to show y'all. So, who has seen this dye? Who has seen this dye? So, this is a Go Big, what is it called? Crazy Quilt 10-inch finished. But, so we're going to do this. But what we're going to do is, let me show y'all the fabric we're going to do. We're going to have some fun with some fabric. Get this out here. Get this out. And it's kind of fun. This right here, so there's like a pattern on the back. Not that I ever go by the pattern. And there's letters. There's letters all on the front of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it this way. Got to make sure it turns the right way. Otherwise, it's not going to go in there. Otherwise, it's not going to go in there. But, y'all, so who likes sunflowers? Who likes a sunflower? So what I thought about doing is stacking all 3 of these up on here. We can do 6 layers at one time. So we're going to do 2 of each. We're going to do 2 of each layers here. So I'm going to do is I'm going to go boom here. And I'm going to move y'all to the cutting table. Move y'all to the cutting table here. What we're going to do is we're going to take 2 layers of this one. Good morning, Shannon. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing this morning? I'm going to take this one here. And we're going to see if we can unzoom you guys a little bit. We're already unzoomed as much as we'll unzoom. Just as an FYI, guys, if you turn your phone sideways, you have a bigger view. Okay, so now we're going to take a layer of the black. Layer of the black, and there's a moth. Go away, moth. Also, y'all, I picked up some flannel for Friday yesterday. I picked up some flannel for Friday yesterday. And somebody was looking for Snoopy. Whoever was looking for Snoopy, I found Snoopy also for Friday. So we should have Snoopy on Friday also. We have some fun stuff for Friday coming. Fun stuff for Friday. Okay, so we're going to get that one going. And then the coordinating fabric, of course, we got to use the sunflowers. We have to use the sunflowers, y'all. Sunflowers are a must. Those ones are a must. So we're going to put this one here. And we may have to, we'll see how this goes here. Put this one here. Sometimes that's my big thing about the AccuQuilt cutter is the how much fabric it takes to send through. How much fabric it takes to send through. Sometimes it's like, you know, wished it didn't take so much. Let's see. We're going to see if we can figure this out. Maybe we'll do one color at a time. Let's do one color at a time here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How we doing this morning? Come this way. We're going to go this way right here like this. I'm going to trim this piece off here. Oh, that'll actually work right there like that. Let's do this because then we can do all of them at one time. Then we can do all of them at one time. Because otherwise it wasn't going to work. So you, like I said, you can do 6 layers of fabric here, y'all. 6 layers of fabric. So what we're going to do is 2 layers of yellow, 2 layers of the black, and then 2 layers of the sunflower. I gotta turn that sewing machine on over here. Turn you on. I'm thinking I need a yellow bobbin. Thinking I need a yellow bobbin. Okay, so then we're gonna put that. So we've got all 3 of the different fabrics. Then you take your, we're gonna turn you on. Then you take your pressing mat. And what happens, if you haven't used one of these AccuQuilt cutters, what happens is they have blades on it, and when it goes through the roller, it kind of pushes those blades up through the fabric. So let's push these through there. How cool is this? It's like da 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 da. Here it goes. Right? Isn't it cool? Check out keep an eye out on FB. Keep an eye out on FB on your MP, because a lot of times people will be getting rid of them. People will be getting rid of those. So I'm going to slide this off. Come on, slide off. It's like, nope, we're not sliding off today. Ah, not a sliding off. I don't want you to come up off. Trying to make it they stay where they're at, because we're going to need to piece this together. Piece that together. Okay. I'm going to put you over there. We're going to bring that pressing mat back. Okay. So I'm going to take this right here. We're going to fold this back up. We'll come back to it again. We'll come back to the AccuQuilt cutter again. So then we're going to stand you up. Okay. I'm going to get the pressing mat, and we're going to turn on the iron. Bring your iron back over here. Turn that iron on. Okay, now we're going to grab one of these pieces of the SF101 AccuQuilt cutter. AccuQuilt cutter. So we're going to take one of these pieces here. So this is a 12 by 18, y'all. 12 by 18. Let's go this way. I'm trying to make it where you guys can see a lot of it. So, like I said, if you turn your phone sideways, you'll see a lot bigger view of it. A lot bigger view of it. So, okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to see if I can try. Hold on. I need to organize these pieces right here, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Show you what we're going to do here. Because we're going to line them up on here. Let's bring this over here. Sometimes when you cut them out, they kind of mess up. So, but I want them to stay there. I want them to stay right there where you're at. Okay, trim that one off. Trim that. Sometimes it doesn't cut all the way through. Sometimes did I get all of them? I think I got all. Oh, nope, there's one right there. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to line these back up here, because these will line up together. These will all line up together. So put that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there, that one there. Okay. So now we're going to do, and we've got 3 layers here. We have 3 layers here. So now, okay, so on the SF101, this is SF101, so it's got like bumps on one side of it. The other side is like a smooth, okay? So this side has got like a bumps on it. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this one here, I'm going to put that one there, okay? And then I'm going to go down one. I'm going to grab the black one. So the black one will line up right here. So I'm going to put the black one right there, because what we're going to do is we're going to keep going around and keep swapping fabrics and seeing if we can get different ones all the way around. Different ones all the way around. We're going to try. We're going to try anyways. See what happens. So then we're going to grab this one. I'm hoping this works. Hoping this works. And I need to come down. Don't know what I was thinking. We need to come down here. Come down here on this one. We may end up having to add a few abstract pieces, which is fine. That's totally, totally fine on there. So come down there. We're like this one. There's that one right there. And then we have this one over here. That is, we're going to grab a different color here. And if we have a few pieces that we need to add extra, that's fine. We can add a few pieces of extra here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep going around here your camera is off. I don't know. I'm going to move over. There. Thanks for the follow, guys. Thanks for the follow. Okay. So now we're going to do is we're just going to keep going. So we need this piece right here. I'm thinking yellow on that piece. Thinking yellow on that piece. So I'm going to grab a yellow one. That one's going to come here. And I'm thinking what we're going to do now, the iron is on. So the iron is on. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and iron these pieces down. That way they stay. That way they stay. I'm going to iron down. Iron down. And we'll keep growing out from there. And those should stay. Those should stay there. Okay. Everyone, yes, please. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come up this way. And as you see, we need this piece right here. So that piece right there, we're going to come over here. Let's grab, I'm thinking, you know what? Let's just throw another one of these here. We're going to throw, we may have to end up lapping a little bit. We're going to grab that one here, come down a little bit. And even though there's some empty spaces, it's okay, because what we'll do is we'll cover up those spaces. And y'all see why I was going to use this color? And it's a variegated yellow, y'all. This is a variegated yellow, and y'all are going to see. We're just going to put these on here, and then we're going to sandwich it together. Sandwich it together. I think we need a black right there. Thinking we need a black one right there. So we're going to go with a black one. I'm going to take that one here. We're going to go black one there. And then this one here, we're going to put this one here. And then, like I said, we'll end up adding more. We'll end up adding some more of fabric around these. But I don't know. I thought this might be a cool idea. Might be a cool idea. Okay. Go in just a little bit. Then we need to grab, I think we need a black one right here. We need a black one right there. Which one is that one? Thinking it's this one. Thinking it's this one. Okay, so I'm going to grab that one. We're going to put that one there. That one there. And the pieces, this is actually going to be a placemat. So this is going to be a placemat for your kitchen table. So we're going to make four of the placemats, y'all. Okay, there is that one. So, and we're going to be using, remember how I had extra piecing from the plate when we cut it out? So we're going to actually use that extra piece because I took it out. I put it somewhere. Put it somewhere. Okay. So we have those right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come down to this bottom side again. Down to the bottom side again. And we're going to keep going here. So I'm going to grab this one here. So come here. That goes there like that. So I'm going to grab that one there. Then this one here goes here. Or I think we need a yellow one there. Let's grab a yellow one. I'm going to grab a yellow one. And they can overlap. They can totally overlap. It's not no biggie because we're going to go and stitch and close up all these seams, y'all. We're going to go and clip. Good morning, Christy. Good morning, Deb. Good morning. Good morning. So SF101. SF101 is your backing here. And you'll feel that it's got like bubbles. And the bubbles is what happens was when you hit it with an iron, it totally takes and closes up that, it connects all of it for you. It totally connects all of it for you. So we're just going to, what we're going to do is we're just going to take and start putting things here. We're going to take and just start putting things here and seeing what we can come up with. Seeing what we can come up with. We're going to put that one there. He said we're going to go over a little bit, which is fine. Which is totally fine. We're going to come here, get it ironed on here. And when I pick this up, you're going to see, and hopefully it doesn't all fall off. I don't think it will. Because what that SF101 does is it completely keeps it onto the piece of fabric for you. And then when we go over to the sewing machine, we just start stitching, y'all. We'll just start stitching and get it all stitched in. So, shape, flex, fusible interfacing. Thank you, Eliza. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so now we need a black piece. We need a black piece. Let's see. Let's grab one of these. So we're going to come over here and grab that one here. I'm going to go up a little bit. We can cover up those pieces. We'll be able to cover up because you're going to see I have open places in here. So this little square that we just cut from the AccuQuilt cutter is for a 10-inch square. That one is for a 10-inch square. Let me move y'all over so you can see. But you see how we've got open spots? It's okay. It is completely okay because what we're going to do is we're going to take the scraps from what we just cut up and we're going to use those scraps. See how we have scraps on the side of where we just cut up? So what we're going to do is we're going to take and use those pieces of scraps. So I'll put those there, and you can have, and it's okay if you top over the pieces. It works out. It's used in bag making, clothing a lot, and right, Cynthia, yes. So we're going to get that one right there. We just need to cover up this whole bottom area. Just need to cover up this whole bottom area here. So we need a piece. Let's see, what do we need there? Let's go. I don't know how well, this is the first time I've done this, so it was an idea. It was an idea. So we're going to see how well it comes out. And I'm going to show y'all how to bind. I will show y'all how to bind when we're done here. So we'll be binding this quilt also. Or not quilt, but placemat. That way y'all can see how the placemat works. Okay. I don't want to trim that. I want to trim that. So we're going to take a piece of this one. And the nice thing is you're just going to square that up. You're going to just square and stitch around. Anytime you just want to, we're going to stitch around any of those open seams. Any open seam you have is where we're going to stitch, okay? Any of those open seams is where we're going to stitch. We need a piece of black fabric right there. Let's grab, where's a smaller piece? I need a smaller piece. So we're going to grab a smaller piece here. You end up just making up your own pieces here. Making up your own pieces here. So we're going to grab a piece of small one here. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't match onto the back. It's okay. It is completely okay because, like I said, we'll trim it out. We'll trim it once we're done before we add the binding. We're going to put that there. Now I'm thinking yellow. We need a piece of yellow right here, right? We're trying to do different colors. Different colors around. So we're going to grab, trim that white off of there. Go here with a piece of yellow. We'll go right there with that piece of yellow. Like I said, that SFF 101 is grabbing on and taking it with the iron, okay? So now we're going to we need some flowers. We need some flowers here. We need some flowers. Let's grab some flowers. Let's take that one right there. Ooh, that works. That completely works. So we're going to grab that one there. Go up a little bit. Up a little bit. So we'll put that one there. What do we need here? We've got 2 spots there. Oh, we got 3 spots we got to fill up. So this one here, let's do this. going to take this here, and because we're going to take that yellow thread out, and we're going to close up all these seams. So you're going to see how all this gets closed up. See how all this gets closed up. So we'll close that one up there. There's that one. And then we have a piece here. So I'm thinking this yellow will close up that one. Let's close up that opening right there. We need to turn it around. We've got another opening on the other side. Another opening on the other side. So now we're going to come around to this side. So now we have an opening right here on this side. So we got to close up that opening. So I'm thinking a piece of yellow, y'all. I'm thinking a piece of yellow because that's a pretty long piece there. Let's see if this piece is going to be long enough. See it? And this, I'm just using the scraps off of what we just cut out. Using those scraps off of what we just cut out there, y'all. And you're sitting there going, it's like, that really doesn't match, but it's okay. It is okay because, like I said, all we're going to do is come and we're going to do a lot of stitching. We are fixing to do a lot of stitching there, y'all. Okay, so let's come back up here. Let's come back up here to the follow me. Okay, so let me show you what we've done. Okay, so we've taken, okay, so you see how that works? And you see how it stays? That completely stays. Those aren't going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. Can you just do that? No, doesn't work because you have to actually stitch it. So, but what we did is we took a piece of this SF101. If you look up the SF101, you'll see, like I said, it has bubbles on the one side, and those bubbles kind of melt when you use your iron. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, so I've got one layer of that. We've got a layer of fabric, and we need a layer of batting. So we have, this is the back. So we're going to take that back, and I'm going to put the back down here. Put the back down here, and I'm going to move y'all back here. Move y'all back there. Give it an iron. There's the iron there. And then we're going to add that layer of batting. We'll add that layer of batting here. And then we want to try and line up. We're going to try and line up that SF101 and the backing, because the batting is a little bit wider than that. So we want to try and line those corners up on there. So what I did is I looked on the back to see exactly where that was and exactly where this one was. So you have your SF101 and then that one there, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to clip that one there. That way that stays in that location, and we're going to come on this side. We're going to kind of do the same thing, make sure that we're in the same location here. Looks good. I'm going to put a clip here, because once we start stitching, it'll be okay. Once we start stitching it, it'll be okay. I'm thinking we should be good all the way around. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to actually close it up. We'll actually close this up with our binding, and I'll show y'all how we do binding too. If you ever have an issue with binding, you're going to find out this morning exactly how to do an easy binding, y'all. How to do that easy binding. And you won't be scared of binding anymore. Okay, so now we're going to take and clip that one there. So now we have it all clipped. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the sewing machine, y'all. Let's go over to that sewing machine. We're going to go over here to this sewing machine here. And we're going to take that yellow. So we're taking the yellow. And thinking, let me see if I've got a yellow bobbin, because I'm thinking we need yellow for that bottom. Thinking we need some yellow for that bottom, y'all. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. We're going to go back to sewing. Kick that arm back the other way. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I've got, we might end up having to do, because I want to make sure that we have enough, because I don't want to get halfway through it and then not have enough for all of it. So it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be enough. Shouldn't take a whole bobbin to do one. Should not take a whole bobbin to do one. So I'm going to throw these on here. And I'm just doing a light yellow bobbin on here. Take this out of here. Take that one out of there. I'm going to grab this one here, flip it over, and always make sure that when you're pulling it, it goes the opposite direction. It goes the opposite direction when you're pulling it. So I'm going to put that in there. There we go. So then what I'm going to do is I use a stitch. It's called a double blanket stitch. Anybody that's hung out with me in the morning knows that that is my favorite stitch. Everybody knows that is like my go-to stitch, y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread the yellow. Thread that yellow in there. Grab this. Do I want to know? You want it outside. Okay. So now what we're going to do is get a drink of coffee right quick first. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can add some extra spray to it if you want. You can add some extra spray to it if you want. And just so you know, I'm going to expand the width on this. I'm going to come back over here for a minute. Come back over here for a minute because I'm going to explain something to y'all. So on the, I always tell you I use that double blanket stitch on the Brother machine on my Avenir. It is on the third selection and 3-18. On that third selection, just 3-18. So what you do is you take and you're going to go, what it does is it stitches up the middle like this, and then it'll sit there and go like this, and it'll grab both sides of that fabric. And you're going to see how that works. You'll see how that works on there. So it works really well. I really enjoy how it works there. So let's come back over here to the Avenir. We're going to come back here, and we're going to do some stitching here. So what you do is you just go find the open seams. We're going to go find the open seams here. The dog had a mistake this morning. Okay, so now we're just going to, and you just center your foot right there on the edge of that fabric. Center that foot right there on the edge of that fabric, y'all. You grab here and then you stop on the corner. And I have my needle in the down position. If your needle is in the down position, you can just take and pick up your foot and move it across, okay? And then just keep turning like this. And once we're done with this one square here, we'll keep going. But what we're going to do is I'm going to stop and I'm going to go back over there to the other camera and I'm going to show y'all how this works. I'll show you how this stitch works. It's a fun stitch, y'all. It is a fun stitch. We're going to come back and then turn it here, come back this way, and then stitch across this one. And we're just closing up all those raw edges. We're closing up all the raw edges on this placemat here, y'all. And it works out really well. So what we'll do, I would keep going on this, but I'm going to stop because I want y'all to see. I want y'all to see, and because we'll come back to it. So we're going to come back over here. Come back over here. I want y'all to see this, okay? Everybody says good morning, Derek. So what we're going to do is you're going to see. Where's my camera? So y'all see that? You see how it went through and it grabbed both sides. It went through and grabbed the yellow side and then all the ones on the outside. And then if you look at the back, you see that stitch? So the back is going to look really cool too. That back is going to look really cool too. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue and just work our way around, right? Is it not a cool stitch? We're going to work our way around. Do you have to use a stitch? No, you could use a zigzag stitch. You could use a decorative stitch. You could use all kinds of different stitches. My thing is I'm careful on which stitches I use because sometimes you'll like, oh, I love that stitch. It looks really cool. Problem is it takes you an hour just to sew down one line because of all the intricacy that is in that stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here. We'll finish stitching this. And like I said, y'all are going to see where once we get it all stitched, we'll come back over here. We'll get it all trimmed up. And I'm going to show y'all how we bind also. Because I want y'all to be able to bind. I want y'all to be able to bind on there too. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it back here. We're going to start where we finished right there. So I'm going to push that foot in. And you're just centering that foot right there on the edge of your raw seam. Right there on the edge of your raw seam. I'm going to go there. We're going to turn it this way. I'm going to turn it right there, and I'm going to come down, or we're going to go on that raw seam. Oh, and my thread got unthreaded. Up. My thread came unthreaded. We got to thread my thread. Okay. To doom. Okay. So here we go. Down right there. All right. So you said, you see how it's just going right there? You're centering your foot right there. And what I do is I make sure the needle, if your needle's in a different spot, just push that button again and push it and stop it and just twice. So you just push it twice and it'll move it back to the next position and get it right there in a position that works for that. Come down this way. And sometimes you'll have to cut the thread, go to the next spot, turn it this way. We're going to need to go back. We need to go back. Move it back a little bit. Nope. I'm going to back this one up a little bit because there's a spot right there. Well, let's just trim it right there. So then we're going to come up this side. And don't worry about the edges. Don't worry about the edges. You're just wanting what's in the middle. You're just wanting to stitch the raw edges in the middle. Because the edges, we're going to close up with that binding, y'all. We will close up those edges with the binding. We're going to come here. We're going to stop right there. See, I just pushed the button twice and it moved it back to the position I wanted. Moved it back to that position I wanted. So then we're going to stop there. We're going to come around this way. Like I said, we're just going to work around all these raw edges here. We're going to continue this way. There's really no rhyme or reason where you stop or go. Really no rhyme or reason where you stop or go, y'all. Turn it this way. You just want to make sure that you cover up all those seams. Cover up all the raw edges there. And the nice thing is if you're using that SF101, the SF101 keeps all your pieces in spot. You don't have to worry about them going into different spots there, y'all. We're going to keep going. Work our way around this placemat. And then once we get done, you're going to see how cool this is. You have like little spots. You come there and then you stop and then you turn. I don't know. This is like therapy for me. You're sitting there stitching all these and it's like your puzzle piece. You're putting a puzzle together here. Putting a puzzle together here. And we'll come back to that spot right there because you're just kind of working your way around. And you get to a spot you have nowhere to go, so you just stop, cut that thread, and then go back to another spot. We're going to go stop here. And you'll see where we're stopping here, we've already stitched there. So we're going to come back here. We're going to stitch down this line that we need to stitch. Come back a little bit. Stitch down that line right there. And we just needed to thread again. Sometimes threading is like, yeah, hello. Hello. Come back here. That cotton thread does not go as smooth. It does not go as smooth as the embroidery thread. Okay, where are we at? Oh, there we are. I was like, where were we? Where were we? Okay, so we're going to come right here. Stitch down here. And this is going fairly quickly. This is going fairly quickly, y'all. Keep going. Trim that there. Move here. We're going to move right there to that one. And we're going to stitch down that one. Once we stitch down this one, I'm going to come back over there and we're going to look how we're doing. We will look at how we're doing here, y'all. Stitch that one. Okay, let's look and see how it's going. Let's see how this is going because I'm thinking it's looking kind of cool. Okay, so let's go back over there. Let's finish stitching this up and then we'll get back over here and we will get going. So, all right, back over here. You say we're just closing up all these raw seams. Closing up all these raw seams here. And what we did is 12 by 18. So a placemat, I always use a 12 by 18. Sometimes you can use a 14 by 18. I mean, it's totally up to you how big of a placemat you want. You could make smaller placemats for the kids if you wanted. I don't know, maybe you'd want bigger placemats for the kids. It's all in your choice. All in your choice there, so. Trim that one up. Sometimes it's hard to see that you've already stitched because the thing is the same color. The thing is the same color as that one, so. Come down here. And right here we've got a raw edge. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to turn it up like this. And we're just going to keep stitching around that raw edge. And this is just a different way of doing these. Just a different way of doing these. I showed y'all how you could do strip piece quilt or placemats. Those were kind of fun. Let's see, come down this way. I'm going to stop right there because we're going to come back this way. He said, you just have fun with this. Just literally have fun with this. We're going to come across that way. And once you get all your raw seams closed up, then we'll take and do that binding. So we come across this way. Back over to there to that corner. So we're going to come this way. Come down here. So I did a class on doing an abstract quilt. I'll show y'all here. I have it here. Because you can do a whole quilt this way. It doesn't have to stop at a placemat. You could do a whole quilt because we've done pot holders this way. We have done placemats. We've done all kinds of stuff. But I'll show you the quilt that you can do this way. And the nice thing is I mean, I go and quilt them again because I like to add a little bit more character to them. But you don't have to. This is more or less a quilt as you go process. So it's already quilted. It's already done there. So makes it kind of cool. Come this way. Doesn't take too long. We're getting there. We are getting there. Come around the corners. And the nice thing is there's another process that you do right sides together, stitch it, and fold it open. And with that, I mean, you're pretty much doing the same thing as you're doing here, just a little bit different. This way, you don't put right sides together. You just line them up like this, and when you line them up like this, you just stitch around them. You just kind of stitch around, and don't make sure you're not pulling or pushing that fabric. Let your sewing machine pull that fabric, y'all. With the sewing machine, it'll sit there. See how I'm just letting it? I'm not pushing or pulling that. I'm letting the sewing machine do all the work. She'll do all the work for you. She'll do all that work for you. That one, okay. Trim that fabric. So now let's see where we got going. We got a raw seam right here. When you get close, you're like, okay, you just need to go make sure that you've got all your raw seams. All your raw seams together. There's that one right there. We're getting close. So we've got one right there. Here's one right here. Get that one. Close up that seam. Turn it this way. There's another raw seam right here. Oh, and I unthreaded again. Sometimes, like I said, this doesn't flow as smooth, so sometimes it doesn't pull down as easily as the other one. Okay, so we're gonna come down here, start stitching right there. We're getting close. We're almost done, y'all. We are almost done, and I'm gonna show y'all how to do that easy binding. Like I said, if you are nervous about doing a binding, I'm gonna show y'all the easiest way there is to do binding. It makes it very easy. So you're like, oh wait, maybe I can do some more quilts. Because that was my thing. I was like, oh my gosh, because my mother always did my binding for me. She always did my binding for me, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, problem is I don't have Ma no more. Love her to death. But so when she passed, I'm like, I ended up stacking up about 20 quilts. I'm like, okay, I've got to figure out binding. So what I did is I figured it out. I figured out how to bind the most easy way out there, y'all. The most easy way out there to bind. So I'm going to share that with y'all. I'm going to share that with y'all on these placemats. And placemats are the best thing to test with. Placemats are the best things to test with. Your placemats, your pot holders, anything like that is your best thing to test with, because if you mess up a placemat or a pot holder, not no biggie. Not no biggie, but if you mess up a quilt, you're like, that's not no fun, especially if it's somebody else's quilt. You're like, oh no, no good. I'm gonna come this way. We're getting close, y'all. We are getting close to being done with this. Getting close. Stop right there. Okay. Like I said, you see the needles in the down position, and you see how it just turns and I let go and it doesn't move? That makes it very nice when you're doing a project like this. Move back the other way and then pick that foot up and come back this way. They said you can use a decorative stitch, use a zigzag stitch. I like the double blanket stitch. This stitch just works for everything. Thing this stitch works really well for is jelly roll rugs. And y'all, now that I have space, I'm thinking we might do a jelly roll rug. I was looking at some ideas for that. Center there. We're close. We're close. Okay, hold on. Turn it here because we only got, I think, just a couple more. And there's a spot right there. I need a yellow piece of fabric. Yellow piece of fabric here. Grab a yellow piece because we're going to need to close up that seam right there. So we're do, as you see that spot, there's a spot right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a yellow piece of fabric, kind of push it under right there and put it there. And then we'll just stitch it. So that's the nice thing. There is no pattern. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. Trim that off there. Come around this way. I'm going to take that clip off, take those clips off. We're done with clips. We're done with clips. Okay, so now we're going to take this here. We're going to stitch across here. Move here. Okay, so now let's see. We're so close, y'all. So close. Okay, let me get these few more stitches done. We'll come back over to the cutting mat. We're going to trim around this, and then we're going to cut some binding. We're going to bind this. We're going to get it binded. Get it binded. Okay, here's one here. Turn it this way. Isn't this fun fabric? You could have fun with any kind of fabric, y'all. And I like to use 3 different colors when I'm doing this. But you could use as many colors as you want. You could use 2 colors. I mean, you could literally use 1 color if you want. Just add some fun stitches around it. Just add some fun stitches around it when you're doing that. So works out pretty well. I think that, yep, we're okay on that. Okay. So, oh, hold on, we got a puzzle piece. Hold on, guys. We don't want to miss out on the puzzle piece because then they'll shut us off. Let's see. And don't forget tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, we're doing mug rugs and mouse pads. We're going to do mug rugs and mouse pads tomorrow. So if you're wanting to see how to do a mug rug and a mouse pad, come hang out tomorrow with us. Okay. So here is this one. Like I said, we only got a few more stitches here. Few more stitches. There is that. Go pick it up and turn it. Turn it here. Turn it back this way. We're going to come down. This is that one little piece. Like I said, wherever you added a little piece, you just kind of got to stitch around it. We just got to stitch around it. Go down a little bit. Okay, turn it. Ah, my clips are gonna. Okay, stitch down this way. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, I think I got one more stitch. One more stitch here. Oh, nope, there's an open seam right there. So we're gonna grab this one right here. Close up this seam right quick. It said you're not worried about your edges. Don't worry about those edges. You just want any seam you have on the inside. Any of those seams you have on the inside is all you're worried about. And then I just seen that I have an open seam right here. So we need to come grab that one. And then we'll look and see. But I think, tell you, sometimes, ow. It's like, hey, it's grabbing. Zoom. There it is. I'm going to grab this one right here. And I think that's the last one. I think that is the last one. And then we're going to come back. We'll get it all trimmed up. And then we will look at binding. What are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking for the binding? Should we do a black binding? Should we do a sunflower binding? I'm almost thinking, oh, there's another open seam. I'm almost thinking sunflower. I don't know. So many different ideas there. So many different ideas that you could do. Okay, let's see. Nope, that one's okay. That. Okay, I don't see any more open seams. I don't see any more open seams. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here. Okay, so this is completely stitched out. This is completely stitched out. Check this out, y'all. How cool is that? Is that not cool? It's like you literally just made a puzzle. How cool is a puzzle? Really, y'all. And it's more or less just scrap. You just put a bunch of scraps together and it worked out really well. So now what we're going to do is sunflower binding. We can do sunflower binding. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. So let's come back over here to the cutting table. Come back to the cutting table because what we're going to do is we have to cut and trim this off. And the way that we're going to trim it is we're going to flip it over because you can't really square it up from the front, but you can square it up from the back. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim it across there. We'll come right here. Come right there like that, and you're going to grab your ruler. We're going to put it right here like this. And then once we square it up, you're going to like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. There's that. Then we're going to turn it this way. Grab this side right here. Grab this side right here. You're already out there. And then flip it around and then trim out this side right here. And then we'll look at it and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that is cool. That is cool. Okay, so there we are all trimmed up. Here we are all trimmed up. So that is cool on that side. And then if we look at this side, check that out. Is that not cool? How cool is that? And you have the fun stitches. You can have some fun with it. You could either use some black, or I mean, you could make it pop, use some pink. I mean, whatever you want to use on that. You're just wanting to close up all those raw seams on that, okay? So let's do this now. So now we're going to take and we're going to trim some 2.5 inch strips. Let's cut some 2.5 inch strips because I'm going to show y'all how you do the binding on these. Let's grab. So we're going to grab some of this sunflower fabric. What we're going to do is we're going to cut some strips. We're going to cut some strips here. Take a drink of coffee right quick. How's everybody's morning going? Hopefully everybody's morning is going good. Are we enjoying placemats this morning? I'm thinking, and we'll do another one. We will do another placemat so y'all can see the whole process again. I want y'all to be able to see this whole process again. I'm gonna have to hold on. I'm just gonna cut some of this off so we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it like this. That way we can. Okay. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to show y'all. We're going to cut, like I said, we're going to 2.5 inch strips. You need some 2.5 inch strips. You could probably do it with a smaller strip, but I like to use a 2.5 inch strip. So we're going to take and we're going to cut 2.5 inch strips. So 2.5. Thinking I might need 3. Thinking I might need 3 here. So let's do, yes, the AccuQuilt cutter does have a strip cutter. It does have a strip cutter. So if you're looking for that, you can get that too. Okay, so there's 3. That should be enough. That should be enough. We'll have enough to do that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that placemat, y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over to the back side. Flip it over to the back side. That looks cool. Does that not look cool? So what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to cut this strip in half. And I'm going to do it with clips. I'm going to show you how to do it with clips. And you want to do right sides together, okay? Right sides. Good morning, Blessed Mess. How are you? So we're doing right sides together on there. So what we're going to do is you're going to take and put a fold. You're going to put a fold on here like this. And you're going to take and put your clips. Y'all, if you want to know something to do with your butter bowls, I use butter bowls. I've used them for years. And they work fun with kids outside playing in the dirt. Just as an FYI. So then we're going to put clips all the way across this. Put clips all the way across that right there like that. And then on this side, we want to put a fold too. And you just want to have enough of a fold there. You're going to see why. On the first one, it doesn't really matter, but I always put a fold on every side. So I put a fold on this side. So we're putting a fold here, another clip here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that sewing machine and we're going to stitch straight across. So we want to make sure we change that sewing machine back over to the straight stitch. We're going to change that sewing machine back to the straight stitch because every once in a while I've made that mistake. I'm like, oops, that didn't work out very well. Oops. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to stitch, put that down, and we're going to stitch straight across there. straight across there like that. And I'm going to change my bobbin to black. Why am I changing my bobbin to black? Because that's what color that back fabric is, okay? So the process I use to do my binding, I make sure the thread on the bobbin matches what the back color of fabric is. So I'm going to take that bobbin thread out. I'm going to take that yellow out of there. And I'm going to find me a black bobbin. Hopefully. Either that or we're winding as a black bobbin. To doom. I think we're winding a black bobbin, y'all. I think we got to wind a black bobbin because I am not finding one. I am not finding one. Okay, so I'm going to take the extra thread out of that one. That black thread there. Because what you want to do is you want to match the thread, the color of thread in your bobbin to whatever your backing fabric is. Because it kind of, what it does is it kind of hides those stitches. Because your machine stitching that binding on there. You're not what do you call it, hand stitching, because when you're hand stitching you do like a blind hem stitch on there, and it kind of makes it work out okay. Hold on, we're gonna go on walkabout. I'm taking y'all on walkabout with me because what I got to do is I got to find some black thread. Wish I could show you. I did a lot of organizing this weekend, and I organized my my sewing room, which made it kind of nice, but I need either that or a dark color. Even a dark color would work. Dark color would work too. I need some extra lighting. Extra lighting. I'm going to use that dark color. Not quite. It's like a dark, but it's fine. I'm going to use that dark color and wind a bobbin here right quick. Okay, put that there. And the nice thing is on your avenir, you can take and wind a bobbin at the same time you're stitching. It's kind of fun, especially when you're doing what do you call them, embroideries. I love to do embroideries. Embroideries are fun. That's what we're doing tomorrow. Like I said, if you're wanting to see how to do what do you call it, mug rugs or mouse pads, come hang out tomorrow because we're going to do some mug rugs and mouse pads tomorrow. So let me get this bobbin wound. Once we get the bobbin wound, we'll go back over to the cutting table and I'm going to show y'all, well, I guess we can do that now. I'm going to show y'all what we do here. So we're going to come back over here while that's winding. We're going to come back here. So what we're going to do is you're going to take this your placemat, okay, and you've sewn right sides together. You put a straight stitch here. This is where it comes into play, y'all. This is where it comes into play. So what you're going to want to do is you see that seam line right there? You want to fold it to the seam line, okay? You don't want to fold it all the way up. Don't go all the way up. You want to go right there to that seam line right here like this. And you could use your iron if you wanted to. And then once you do that, you take here and you come to the other side. You're coming to the other side here. Like I said, you're folded up to that seam line right here. Come to that other side and come like here like this, and you're going to put a clip. We're going to put a clip right there like that, okay? And we do the same thing all the way across. So on your next side, that's where I call them Christmas corners. Y'all going to see Christmas corners here, y'all. If you've ever been intimidated by binding, this is your easiest way to bind. And just make sure when you're folding that up, you're going up to the stitch line. Do not go all the way up to the top. It doesn't work if you go all the way up to the top. We're going to come here. We're going to clip this all the way across here. Again, on this side, you're just folding up to the seam line, up to that seam line there. And this works really well. And placemats and pot holders are the easiest way to practice binding. This is the easiest way to practice binding is on things like this. So now we've got this clipped all the way across. So now we're going to go back over to the sewing machine. And what we're going to do is, you remember that stitch that we used for in here? We're going to use that same stitch on the outside with the binding, okay? So let's go back over there and let's stitch that down so we can see the binding on that. So, and like I said, I did a dark color on the back that is going to kind of hide into there. It's going to kind of hide. Do you bind that way on your quilts? Yes, I do, Flutters. This is how I bind everything. This is how I bind everything because I don't hand stitch. I have got tennis elbow, so need to say it kind of hurts. I can't hold the needle that long. So this is how I bind my quilts. And that's why I said this is an easy way for you to test or to try it, is to bind you some pot holders, make yourself some placemats, and try binding. Try binding out. So it works out really well. Okay, so let's go back over to the sewing machine. We're going to stitch straight across with that double blanket stitch, or whatever stitch you're using. Whatever stitch you're using. Oh, I guess I got to bring y'all over here, don't I? Come back over this way. Back over this way. I'm going to take that bobbin, and y'all, the bobbin is like a dark purple. Haha. I like purple. I got to find my black thread. It's somewhere. It's okay. This will still be fine. Still be fine. Okay. So now we're going to do on the top, like say, go back over to that double blanket stitch. And the double blanket stitch I use, I increase that width to 7 millimeters. That's pretty much as big as it'll go. So what you do is you take here and you're going to center that. You're going to center that foot. The foot right here is centered right on your edge. Because what you're going to do is it's going to go and it's going to grab. It'll grab both sides. It's grabbing both sides of what you're stitching there. And like I said, don't push, don't pull. Let those feed dog pull it for you. You let those feed dog pull it for you, and that way it stays a constant stitch consistency. Because otherwise, if you push or pull, it changes the width, or it makes it narrower, or you'll see the difference. You'll see that difference. I know the first thing that you think about is like, you're like, oh, I need to push or pull it. No, you don't. And if you find that your fabric is too thick and it's not pushing or pulling, put your walking foot on there. If you put your walking foot on there, it'll pull it for you. That's what that walking foot was created for, is when you have some of those fabrics that don't like to move under with the feed dogs, or those fabrics that you have like too many layers and it's not wanting to move through. So not wanting to move through there. Okay, so let's trim this off. Let's come back and look at this, y'all. We're going to come back and look at this stitch. And y'all are going to see, this is kind of cool. The yellow kind of came through the back, which is fine. But y'all, check that out. You see that binding? You see how cool that looks on the binding? It's like perfect. It is literally like perfect. And then you come to the back. Did you say you go to the biggest width, but keep the length of set on the machine? So what I do, so what I do is I go to the biggest width. I move it up to a 7 millimeters, which is as wide as your machine will go. That is as wide as that machine will go. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is where the trick comes into play, y'all. This is where the trick comes into play. We're going to do this side. Here comes the double blank, or the Christmas corner. Here comes that Christmas corner. Let's come back here. So what we're going to do is go back to the cut. Come back this way. Go back. I don't know why I was doing that. So what we're going to do on this side, we're going to take that piece of binding you got. That's that other side. We're going to take a piece of binding, and you want to make sure that you have enough on each side to fold. You're very welcome, Flutters. You want to make sure that on each side you have enough to fold. So we're going to trim that off. Trim this off here. So I'm going to put a fold. I'm putting a fold on this side. And y'all, as a reminder, if you want a bigger view, turn your phone sideways, because I have it set up for you guys to be able to view sideways. So I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to come here. I'm going to fold it that way, and I'm going to put a thing here. And I just realized, hold on a minute. No, we're good. Okay, so you have a fold here and you got a fold here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to that sewing machine and we're going to stitch across the top, okay? We're going to stitch all the way across the top. Is that even? No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be even, okay? Trust me, it'll work out. It's going to be hidden behind there anyways. So we're going to go back over to the sewing machine. Don't forget to change it back to your straight stitch. I've forgotten to change it back to my straight stitch and started stitching. I'm like, oh, yep. You know it immediately. You know it immediately, but that's okay. So we're going to take here, put your foot down and start stitching all the way across, y'all. And a nice thing is when you're stitching like a really long thing, like your quilt or something, and you have those clips, they just slide right off. They just slide right off there. So take that foot up. Okay, here comes the Christmas corner, okay? So on the side, we're going to come back here. On the side that you have already stitched, okay, this is where that Christmas corner comes into play. So your Christmas corner comes into place. So you're going to take that piece of fabric and you're going to fold it like this. You remember wrapping up those Christmas gifts or birthday gifts and you wanted to have that pretty corner, okay? We're going to have a pretty corner on here, or they call it a mitered corner, okay? So what you do is you take and you do like a little fold here. And is this the perfect way? No. Is this the right way? There is no right way. It's whatever way you like to do this, okay? And then we're going to fold it up to your stitch line. Remember, you're only going to the stitch line. You don't want to go all the way up. If you go all the way up, you're not going to get your corner. So let's come back over to the cutting table so y'all can see a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that corner. Again, you're going to go just part way up. Just part way up on that. And then you're going to come up here to the stitch line. Right there to that stitch line, okay? Yes, and then you're going to fold it up like this, and then you're going to come around to the other side. Sometimes you got to play with it and fold it just a little bit further up. Just play with it to get your corner, and then you're going to fold it up like this, and then when we flip it over here onto the other side, and you fold it down, what do you have? You have a corner, but we're doing the miter corner on the wrong side. Whoops. We need to do it. You want to do the miter, you only do the miter, that Christmas corner on the side that you've already stitched. So we're going to come here like this. I'm going to fold it over like this. Like I said, don't fold it all the way up, okay? You want to just fold it part way up like this. And then you're going to fold it up to your stitch line. Up to your stitch line like this. And then come across over to the other side. Look how cool that is. Y'all see that corner? Is that not the perfect corner? Like I said, Christmas corner. It's like a Christmas corner, y'all. So then we're going to do, for the rest of it, because you don't have a piece of binding on this side. So if you don't have a piece of binding, just do a regular fold. Just do a regular fold up like this, okay? And we're going to come around to the front side. Come around to that front side. We're going to clip it here. You're going to clip there. And then you come here. Add a few more clips. And now we're going to go and we're going to get that double blanket stitch. And I'm going to show you, because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stitch down that corner, okay? We're going to stitch down that corner, and then we're going to come all the way across and stitch across, okay? Let's go back over there. Let's go back over here. Change your stitch back to that double blanket stitch. Increase that width up to 7 millimeters. And you don't have to increase the width. I just like a wider width. I just like a wider width. And again, what I'm saying, you come here, you're going to come down that mitered corner you just created. We're going to stop there, and then you're going to pick it up and you're going to turn it, and then you're going to come all the way across. Come all the way across on here. They say you can use a decorative stitch as long as it's grabbing both pieces of fabric is all you got to make sure. You just got to make sure it's grabbing both pieces of fabric as you go across. So we're going to stitch that across here. And then we'll move to the next side. We'll move to that next side here. We're going to look at this, see what this looks like. Stitch right there to the end. Give it a trim. Grab those clips. All right, let's see what this looks like. Let's see what that looks like. So here is that corner that we just did. Here is that corner that we just did. Look at that. You see how that corner went up here? I'm going to raise you up just a little bit. You see that corner? How cool is that? So it literally took and made a corner there. So it made that corner. And then you have the back side. It still looks cool on the back side too. Okay. So there is that corner right there, and then it's stitched all the way across. So we just keep working our way around. Just keep working our way around here. So we're going to flip it over. And we've done this. So we've got this side done, this side done. So let's go ahead and do this one. So we're going to grab that piece of fabric here. Grab your piece of fabric. And remember, you got to put a fold on each side. So we're going to put a fold on this side. And it's just an inch or so, just inch, 2 inches. You just want to make sure that you've got a fold here, okay? Get you a fold here. So we're going to put a clip here. Who's liking this way of binding? Who's liking this way of binding? Like I said, is there a right or wrong way? No. The right or wrong way is whatever works for you. That's the nice thing about sewing. Whatever works for you is the way you do it. So thanks for all the follows, y'all. Thanks for all the follows. Thanks for all the taps. And thanks for hanging out with us in the morning. We have a lot of fun in the morning. Anybody new to us, we are on Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning, y'all. Monday through Wednesday, we're stitching. Monday through Wednesday, we're stitching. So there's that one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to the sewing machine. Back over to the sewing machine, and we're going to stitch straight across right there. Okay, all the way across right there. There we are. So let's go back over here. And don't forget to change your machine back to that straight stitch. Like I said, I have forgotten before. So we're going to stitch across here. And you see how these clips just pull right off? Just make sure that you have the flat side of that clip down. As long as you have the flat side of that clip down, they'll just slide right across your machine like that. You see how they're just sliding right across? And as you get to it, you just kind of move it off. Let's come back over here, and here comes that Christmas corner again. Here comes that Christmas corner again, y'all. Let's come back over here to the cutting table. Back over to the cutting table. So we have this side. So this side has got the binding on it, y'all. This side does not have the binding, okay? So this side, you're just going to fold up to the seam line, okay? And remember, you're going to fold up to the seam line, not all the way up top. You only want to go to the seam line, okay? So we're going to come back over here on this side. We're going to put in that Christmas corner again. So you're going to fold it like this, and you don't want to go all the way up. Don't go all the way up. We want to fold just, just part way up, and then you're going to fold it up to that stitch line right there like that, and then you're going to come around to the front side. Come around to that front side like this once you've folded it, and then you got your corner. You see how you have your corner there? And then we'll take and we'll stitch it. So grab your clip. Grab your clip here. And again, we just want to take and fold it. It's a little bit, that's why you when you're doing a quilt, I mean, you could probably do this without clipping it, but I wanted to show y'all how to clip it. So, so we're going to clip that one down. Yes, Miss Rhonda. Oh, good morning, Miss Rhonda. How are you? Thank you for the heart me. Thank you for the heart me. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome this morning. Okay, we're going to take here. Y'all, we are close to having this done. We are so close to having this done. And I'll go through the process one more time here. We have time at least to start the process. We have time at least to start this process, y'all. So we're going to go here. And y'all, anybody that had orders last week, they will all go out today. They are all going to go out today. So if you haven't finalized it, go ahead and go finalize them. That one is a little bit. There's that one. There is that one. Okay, so now we're going to take and go back to the sewing machine, and we're going to stitch down that corner and then come all the way across. So we're going to go back over there and stitch on the double blanket stitch, y'all. We're going to stitch on that double blanket stitch again. We're going to go here, extend that width. Here we go. We're going to pop that down. And again, center that foot on your seam. Center that foot on, or the seam on your foot. Yeah, I said that backwards. I apologize. So you're centering the edge of that fabric right there in the middle of your foot. That way it's going and grabbing both sides. After this, we only have one more side, y'all, and we will have had this binded. How quick is that? That is the quickest binding way that I have found, and I like the way it looks. It's, you know, my preference. It is my preference on how I do this. Binding has always been my nemesis. I'm like, I don't know how to bind. I am not any good at binding. I sure as heck can't hand bind. My mother-in-law still hand binds. My grandmother always hand binded. We're going to stitch across here. Y'all, we're only one side away. One side away from having this completely binded. So get that one. Close that seam off. Pick up that foot. We're going to come back this way. Oh my gosh, we are getting close. I can't ham. Yeah, I'm not either. Fun. Back to the cutting table. Okay, so we've now got two sides. Y'all see this? We've got, and both of the, how cool is this looking? How cool is this looking? And does it look bad on the back? No, of course not. So nice thing is we need to get this other last side done. Let's get this other last side done. So we're going to take this strip. And remember, okay, this one is going to have a double Christmas corner on both sides. I love how it looks on, right? I do too, Christy. I do too. That's the thing. I mean, and like I said, is it everybody's way of binding? Absolutely not. It's whatever you like. That's the nice thing about quilting. There is no right or wrong way to quilt. It's whatever you like is the right or wrong way. So, okay, so put that fold on the corner. So you're going to put a fold on the corner, put a clip, and then you're going to clip your way across. And like I said, this would be fun. Those would be a fun, easy gift. Do a set of 4. Absolutely, Flutters. Absolutely. It would totally be an easy thing to do. Totally be an easy thing to do. And then you're going to come to your other side, and you're going to make sure you have enough for a fold, because we're going to do a double a Christmas corner on both edges of this side, because you've got binding on both sides. You got binding on both sides of it. So we're going to put that one there. So you have that one's there, and then we're going to put another clip here. Another clip here. Okay, so here we go, guys. So now we need to go back, and we need to do that straight stitch across there, okay? Let's go back over there and get that straight stitch. Don't forget to change your machine. He said, I keep saying that, but I'm only saying it because I have done it. I start stitching, I'm like, oh, that was not the stitch I wanted. So, and as you're stitching across, pull those clips right off. See how easy those clips come right off there? Come right off there like that. So then we're going to come back over here, and now we're going to do a Christmas corner on both corners. We got to do a Christmas corner on one with state shapes and 4th of July. Ooh, that would be fun. That would be really cool. Oh my gosh. Now you're giving me ideas, Funny Farm. You're giving me ideas. So again, so you do that Christmas corner, and not all the way up, only about part of the way up here. And then you fold it up to your seam line, up to the seam line here. And you could do both corners on this one. And then when you flip it over to the other side, you have your corners. Flip it over to the other side. We're going to flip this around. So if it's a smaller section, so you have your Christmas corner there. You're going to take that corner there. Then you have your Christmas corner over on this side. You're going to take that corner here, fold that up just a little bit. And this is where you're covering that raw edge on the edge of your placemat too. This is where you're covering up that raw edge on your placemat too. Trim those threads off there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to stitch down that one all the way across and then back up that one, because you got 2 of those. Can you do this? Absolutely. Absolutely, Fran. I actually got a couple quilts, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that on that. This is the way I bind everything. This is a way to test, or this is a way to practice, is practice on your smaller projects. Practice on a baby quilt. Practice on whatever kind of quilt you're doing. So again, I've turned it over to a double blanket stitch. I'm going to come down here. So I'm going to stitch the corner first. So it's going to stitch there, and you're going to stop at that corner. And I have the needle in that down position. So then I come across here. We're going to stitch all the way across. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. We're fixing to have this completed. And we'll take a look at this. We're going to look at what this looks like. We'll get all the little threads trimmed off of it. Turn it this way, because we got two corners that we got to come up. So we're going to come up that way. Okay, we're going to trim that off. We have officially made a placemat, y'all. And how quick was that? How quick was that? All right, coming back over here. What we're going to do is we are going to, let's trim off these raw seams, and we'll change to camera view, and we'll look at this and see what this looks like, because I'm kind of liking it, y'all. Kind of liking it. Okay, so let's do this. Let's come back here. All right, I really like flanged binding, but it takes a bit more work. This is easy and looks great. Yeah, the flange binding can be fun. So is that not cool? How cool is that? I kind of messed up on that stitch right there, but it's okay. It is okay. So we come back on this side. Y'all, how fun is that? How fun is that? Good morning, Lady Elizabeth. How are you? Thanks for joining the live. Thanks for joining the live. And y'all, this was fairly easy. This was a fairly easy one to do. So you want me to, I'll show y'all the process one more time. I will show y'all the process one more time. We still got a little bit more time. We got a little bit more time on here. I'm going to drink some of my coffee. Here. And y'all, again, thank you for joining. Thanks for hanging out. Tomorrow, just as an FYI, tomorrow, we're going to be doing some mouse pads, mug rugs. We're going to be having some fun in the hoop. If we have time, we'll do one outside of the hoop. For y'all that don't have embroidery machines, we'll kind of do both. We might just do both. Who knows? We'll see how that. We might get both machines going. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so what we need to do. So I'm excited. I really like how I made my first quilt, simple t-shirt blocks. Awesome. So the SF101, you probably know what an SF101 is then. Because what you do is we're taking a piece of that SF101. So the SF101, if you do a search on it, it's got like bumps on this side of it. And the bumps on this side of it is it kind of melts when that iron hits it. And it adheres that piece of fabric that you put on top to that. I do highly recommend SF101, especially if you're doing a t-shirt quilt. Those t-shirt quilts, you want to put a stabilizer on the back side of them. That way when you're stitching them, because this t-shirt material, as you see, is like it's different consistency, and you want to stabilize that fabric, especially when you're quilting it. When you're quilting it, you want to be able to stabilize that. So come back here. So we're going to grab the pressing mat. I have a piece of flannel on the top side. My friend, Miss Abby, had told me, because for some reason or another, it was, what do you call it? It was putting gump up on the bottom side of my iron. So needless to say, if you add a piece of flannel to the top side of your pressing mat, because I have a wool pressing mat, it'll stop that gump on your iron. So let's come back over here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this piece, and 12 by 18, y'all. 12 by 18 is your what you call it? Is the size of your placemat. So I used a steamer with an iron, didn't gunk. Awesome, that works. I've had mine for quite a few years, Lady Elizabeth. Mine never gumped. Mine never gumped until, I don't know, last year or so it started gumping up. So, because I've been using it for years, and then all of a sudden it decided to start gumping, and I don't know why. So needless to say, I just started that, but hopefully yours don't. Maybe it was just something on my iron. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just start putting pieces. We're going to start putting pieces. So what we do is we're going to put pieces on here, and I'm going to make them a little bit, we're going to do a little bit different here. Because on the last one, and they don't have to match, you're just adding, I'm going to overlap a little bit more than we did last time. Because last time we didn't overlap very much, and I had a gap on there. I had a gap on it. So we're going to come this way. Come up a little bit. That way we can close up those gaps. We're just going to keep, good morning. How you doing this morning? Maddle content. I try to catch all y'all. So we're going to come back on this side. Let's see, we need a yellow piece. Take that yellow piece. And I'm using an SF101, y'all. An SF101 on this fabric. And as you see, I'm going over the edge. I'm going over that edge. But the thing is when you're going over the edge, it makes it where you're going to be able to get air. And when we're done stitching, we'll be able to, let me turn that iron on too so we can get that pressed. You'll be able to close up those raw seams. So then we're going to take another piece here, put it here, put that one there. Then I'm going to take this one here. We're just going to, I was going through and trying to do the pattern on the last one. This one we're just going to take and add to there. That way we don't have any kind of raw. I think we need a piece of yellow there. So we're going to take and add a piece of yellow on that one right there. And it doesn't matter if you have a few more layers. Is a 12 by 18 or any size doesn't get smaller with the stitch. No, the 12 by 18 stays. So this one is, because that one, let's measure it. So it stays. So it's 18. It is 18 by 12. It's 18 by 12. It stays 18 by 12. Because what you're doing when you add that binding, I mean, it may, what do you call it? Shrink a little bit, but not too bad. So it stays pretty good. Okay. So let's keep going. I think we need a piece of black right here. Let's add that one right here. We're going to go here with that one. And then let's come over here. We're going to add a piece of that one. We're going to grab a piece of the yellow. And again, we're just kind of Mod Podging it together, really. Kind of Mod Podge. That's a good word. That was a good word, Mod Podge. We're going to put that one there. Put that there. Grab this one here. Let's grab another piece of yellow for that one. And I'm using the scrap, so I cut this out with my AccuQuilt. Any chance these fabric pieces are adhesive? No. So Jeannie, these are, I'm putting them on SF101. I'm putting them on the SF101. I mean, what you could do is you could put, I don't know if you've ever used Steam-A-Seam. If you've used Steam-A-Seam, what you could do is adhere the Steam-A-Seam to your fabric, and then when you cut it out, you could actually use it that way. So you could do that. That one would work out okay. So then let's see, we're going to use a piece of black material. I'll put that one there. Let's cover up that yellow. I'm going to cover up that yellow there. We're going to come over here. Let's come over here. Let's go underneath of that one. Come that one right there. Could you use a heat and bond? Absolutely. That's what I was saying. The Steam-A-Seam, that Steam-A-Seam, let's press these down. We're going to press these down here. That's where the SF101 comes into play. So the SF101, when you press it, it grabs that piece of fabric. Grabs that piece of fabric and keeps it there. Oops. Gotta be careful on it. Make sure that when you're ironing it, and I got gump on my iron now. That one there. I love fusible for bags and placemat. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Makes it kind of fun. I don't know. I just kind of dreamed this up this weekend, and I'm like, you know what? That would be a fun project for us to do this morning. This would be a fun project for us to do this morning. So that's where this one came into play. That's kind of where this one came into play, was doing it that way. Gonna come there. And again, once we get all these, we're just going to work our way across this. And then we'll work our way over to the sewing machine. And we're going to use my favorite stitch. My favorite stitch. Go there. Or grab this one here. We're just adding pieces. Adding pieces here. Like I said, this is the same piece of fabric that you would use. Same piece of fabric, the SF101. Somebody was talking about doing a t-shirt quilt. You'd want to use this for your t-shirt quilt. Because if you don't, like I said, when you're quilting it, that's where you have problems in quilting it. So I did anyways. I don't know, just my personal preference on that. So personal preference on that one. And this right here is a good way to use up your scraps. Perfect way to use those scraps up, y'all. We're going to come across there like that, close up that corner there, and see, and I've got a little spot right there, so we want to close that spot up. We're going to come there. We're going to close up that little spot right there. I'm going to take a piece of black piece of fabric. And I'm going to go under there like that. And that way it closes it up. You just keep adding. Just keep adding. So I think we need a yellow piece right there. Grab a yellow piece. Grab a yellow piece here. We're going to come across there like that with that one. Go up a little bit. Up a little bit. You gotta be careful with that stuff because it gets sticky quick. And if it gets on your iron, then yeah, that's not no fun on the iron now. Okay, so now we grab a piece here. So we're gonna grab that there. And you see how sometimes you end up overlapping. It's okay. It is completely okay if you overlap. Especially, I mean, you're making a placemat, so. And once we get this on here, I'm gonna show y'all. I have my abstract quilt that I did this way. Because you can do this process as a quilt. So the only place of adhesive is what's touching the white. That is correct, Jeannie. That is correct. So this right here is the only adhesive. So that way when you take it over to your sewing machine, you'll just take it over there like that and it stays that way. And then you just start stitching across. As you see on this one, see how we've got it all stitched here. And you can see on the back that we just stitched a double blanket stitch around all the edges of it. So we're going to turn this around. That way we can get the other side on this one. And you don't have to worry about it going over. It's okay. Even though it goes over, because what will happen is you'll go and you'll trim off the edges once you get it all stitched. Once you get it all stitched, you'll trim off those edges. So we're going to come here with that one there. We're going to grab a black piece here. So we're just playing puzzle here. Playing puzzle here with the pieces. Give it a press. That way it stays. I mean, and I guess what you could do is if you wanted to, you could take and put all these pieces in here, throw it into your heat press and press it down. That would work too. That would totally work. So take this piece. on that corner. And there's no right or wrong place. No right or wrong place for these pieces. They said yours is going to look different. Everybody's is going to look different. So I'm going to take this here. I'm going to put that there. That way we're closing up. I'm going to turn it around like this. Close up that right there. Put that, and like I said, you're going to have multiple layers. It's okay if you have multiple layers. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to press that there like that. So that gets pressed right there like that. And then right here, let's put a black piece. We need a black piece right here. So we're going to grab this right here. Hold on one moment. Hello? What? That's fine. Okay, that's fine. I'll figure it out. No, that's good. No, you're good. No, you're good. Are you going in? Okay. Okay, that's fine. I'll take care of it once I get off my live. You're good. You're good. All right, bye. Okay, so we're going to keep adding. So let's add a piece of yellow here. We're going to add a piece of yellow here. Yellow right there. Let's do this one. I'm thinking this one here. Oh, that's better. That's better. Let's put the yellow one there. Yellow one there. So we're going to put that one there. And then we got to put here. We're going to take that one there. And then I think a last piece of black right there. Let's grab a black piece right there. Come off to the edge. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do is, let me give that a press. Give that a press. Okay, let's come over here. Let's come over here. Okay, so I want to show y'all. I want to show y'all what this is. So what we've done is we've now pressed this on here. And you see, this is what that SF101 does. It makes it where it stays, okay? It makes it where it stays on there. And you can see, thank you for the heart, me, I appreciate it. It makes it where it stays on there, okay? And this is what it turns into. So what you do is you take and you stitch all the way around those raw edges. You're stitching all the way around those raw edges. And what I did is I sandwiched it with batting in the middle and then a backing on the back side. But let me show you. I want to show y'all something because, like I said, I did a class on teaching you how to do a quilt, okay? Because you can do a quilt this way. Let me show you that quilt. I want to show y'all the quilt. So what I did is I took and did a quilt the same way. Y'all see how this works? You literally just start in the middle there. Start in the middle, work your way out, and then you have the same thing. You have the same thing. There are endless possibilities, completely endless possibilities. Granted, I took and did some more quilting on this. You see the loops there. I quilted it. But y'all, same thing, same exact thing on there. So works out really well. Works out really well. And it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And it's a good way to use up those scraps. A good way to use up the scraps on, I mean, who doesn't have scraps? I've got lots of scraps, y'all. I have lots and lots of scraps out there. So, but what we could do, we got a few more minutes. So we'll go back over to the sewing machine and I'll show you how we start stitching this. And again, I use a double blanket stitch. And on that double blanket stitch, as you can see, what it does is that, thank you, Vilma. Thank you. And on the double blanket stitch, what it does is it goes down the middle of that seam. So because you're centering that foot right there on the middle of the seam, okay? And then as it goes up, it goes like this. It'll go and grab both sides. And you can kind of see the stitching on the both sides where it goes up the middle and then it goes and grabs both sides of that, okay? Let's go back over there and I'll show you how we stitch it. We're going to go back over here to the sewing machine and I'll show you how we stitch it. I just realized I got to add batting. I got to add batting. It doesn't work very well if you don't have a backing and a batting. So we're going to grab a backing. Grab a backing piece. Blazer's saying good morning, guys. Got it. Grabbing a piece of my batting. And this is an easy, fun project, y'all. Easy, fun project. That piece, that'll go for a mug rug. That one will go for a mug rug. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my pair of scissors and trim around this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. There it is. That is. I'm going to trim around this. I got ahead of myself. I was like, all right, let's go stitch. Well, kind of hard to stitch if you don't have the backing and the batting in there, right? I mean, I guess you could stitch it. And I guess that is one thing you could do, is you could go ahead and stitch it all down and then add your backing and your front and then do some quilting on it. I like to add additional quilting. You could add additional quilting to it. So, and I'm just cutting around the edge here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. There's that. So then I'm going to take that piece. So you have your backing and then you have your front. We got to change that bobbin up too. So then you take this and you line up. So you line up that backing piece with your SF 101. So you line those up right here like this. Line those up right there like that. That way it stays right there, and give it a clip. Clip that open. Turn it the other way. You always want, on these clips, y'all, you have a round side and a flat side. You always want that flat side to the back side where it's running across the sewing machine, okay? What's the back look like when it's put together? So the back, here is the back. That is what the back looks. It looks like a puzzle. Literally looks like a puzzle, Miss Bonica. Is that not cool? So you have like a puzzle piece all put together, and that's where you can do the fun. Let me come back over here. You can have fun different colors on that. You could put some different fabric on the back side. You could do like some flowered fabric or some white fabric and use white thread, and all the stitching is kind of hidden. You could do it that way. You could do it this way. Variegated thread. Variegated thread's fun, y'all. Variegated thread is fun. And then we do the binding on these bindings. I do have fun with the bindings on there too. So, they're all machine binded. They are all machine binded, but it looks really cool. I kind of like how they turned out. They're kind of fun. Kind of fun, y'all. Okay, so back, and like I said, what I'm doing is I'm taking and I'm finding the corner here, and then the corner on your SF 101, and you're lining those up here, and then putting a clip. You're putting a clip on those. Grabbing that clip, and remember, flat side to the back. Flat side to the back there. Grab that one, and then you do the same thing on all four corners. All four corners here. So SF 101, your backing. It doesn't have to be exactly right because that binding will resolve that. And like I said, you're going to go over a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. That way you get all edges. You get all the edges there, y'all. Okay. So grab that one there. Okay. So now they're all clipped. Do you have a video that shows your binding process? I do, Fran. I do. It's on YT. I'll have to do another one on here. I'll have to do another one on here for you guys. That would be, and in actuality, what I could do, would y'all like to see the binding right quick again? I can do binding one more time before I could extend the live just a little bit and bind right quick. I have some pot holders I need to bind. if y'all want to see the binding right quick. I can show you the binding one more time. Thanks for the follow, Fran. Thank you for the follow. All right, Monica, let's do that. So I'm going to put this one up. We had some fun with that one. I had last week, this is what we created last week. Let me come down here and grab these. So last week we had some fun. Last week we created these. These were a lot of fun. As you can see, I've been having some fun with the AccuQuilt lately. So same thing on this. This is all these layers. Is that not cool? All these layers. Thanks, Jules. On there. So, and then what I did is I layered them on here, and then we took and we stitched all the way around those. Okay. Is that not cool? And we did that twice. And then we also did a love bug. We also did a love bug one. Same thing. Same thing on that one. Same thing on that one. And then this one, you see how you really can't see the stitching? But if you look close, the stitching is there. It's just kind of hidden. This is where you kind of hide those threads. So it's all in if you want those stitches to show up or not. Okay. That's what you do on the back side. So let's do this. Let's do a binding. So we're going to bind that pot holder. We're going to bind that pot holder there. I'm going to take, let's use, yeah, why not? Why not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that one. So we're going to take this strip. I'm going to cut this strip in half. This strip is actually 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut this strip in half. I like to use 2.5 inch strips, but we're going to use a 2 inch strip, more or less a 2 inch strip, almost a 2 inch strip. So this is what we're going to use. I'm going to take that here, trim this in half. Okay, there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come here on the back side. And you see that it's kind of off a little bit. It's okay, because what we'll do is, let's do this. I'm going to trim this off a little bit. Square it up a little bit. And then plus the binding will kind of hide. The binding will kind of hide it, so it'll be fine. To be fine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this strip. I'm going to cut off this here. And I'm going to leave that purple thread I got in the bobbin. I'm going to leave that purple thread I have in the bobbin because it's going to kind of hide. It's going to kind of hide. So what I'm going to do is you're going to have to fold the edge of your fabric here. Okay, fold the edge of that fabric, and we're going to take and we're going to clip it. And pot holders is the easiest thing to test on or to practice on is hot pads. So I'm going to put that there. Come across here. And we're just going to do a straight stitch across this one, okay? We're going to grab this one. We're going to come here. Fold that one. Yeah, I didn't cut that very straight, but that's okay. It's okay. As long as you got a little fold there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the sewing machine and we're going to do a straight stitch across right there, okay? Go back over to the sewing machine and I'm going to load. What color do we want? I'm thinking we want this to show. We want this to show. We're going to, you know what? I have some really, really pretty pink. We're going to use some really pretty pink on here. This is where it's going to show. You're going to really see it pop because we have that pink in the middle. Means we have that pink in the middle. We're going to go back over here and we're going to straight stitch. So we're going to straight stitch across here. Okay. It's going to put that foot down and we're going to stitch right across here. And then pull that clip off. You see how easy those just pull off? Like I said, flat side down on your sewing machine. Makes it where when you're stitching across, we're able to pull them over fairly quickly. So we're going to come back over here to the cutting table. So on this one, so you've sewed that on the back. So this is where it comes into play. So on this one right here, you don't do anything with the corners, but you fold it right there to your sewing seam, right there to the where you've sewn. Don't go all the way up, okay? You want to do right there to the edge of where you stitched. And then you're going to fold it over and then come to the front. It's easier if you come this side. So you come there like this, okay? Come there like that, right there to your seam line. Come over to the front and grab like that, and then put a clip. And put a clip there, okay? Same thing all the way across. Just make sure you're only going to your stitch line. It gives you a wider space on the front. I mean, this is how I do it. Is it right or wrong? It's my way. It's, you know, whatever you like to do is how it works. Whatever makes you happy is the main thing. As long as you're happy with it, you're good. So we're going to come there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to that sewing machine. We're going to use the same stitch, okay? We're going to use that same stitch and we're going to stitch all the way around it. But we're going to have some fun with this pink color. I have some thread that is more or less the pink color as this, okay? All right, so let's come back over here. Back over here, y'all. And we're going to change this. So I'm on the Avenir, so I'm going to section 3, 3-18, and then I'm increasing that width up to 7 millimeters. 7 millimeters on there. And you center that foot. You take and you center that foot there. Put that foot down and you start stitching. Okay, and when you center that foot, what it does is it takes that double blanket stitch and it stitches down the edge of that seam, and then it also goes across and grabs both the front, the binding, and the backing. It'll grab the binding and the backing, and I'll show y'all here in a minute. Get that stitched across here. Come across. Trim that off. Pick up that. Oh my gosh. And y'all, this is where it comes into play. This is where it comes into play. Check that out. Y'all see that seam? You see that seam on there? Is that not cool? And you see how it just goes down, goes right down the edge. And then if you look at the back, it's kind of hidden. So that's my little trick. On the back side, I always match the color of fabric. Whatever color of fabric I have on the back is the color of bobbin thread I use. That way it's kind of hidden, you know, because does it look perfect on the back? No. Does it matter? No. As long as, like I said, as long as you're happy, right, Monica? Isn't it cool? So we're going to come back here. This is where my my Christmas corners. I call them Christmas corners. Just me, but I call them Christmas corners. Y'all are going to find out here in a minute why I call them Christmas corners. I like Christmas corners. So we're going to take this and you're going to put a fold, okay? You're going to put a fold right there. You're going to put a clip, and remember, flat side down on there. So I'm going to put that there, come across here, and just an inch or maybe a couple inches on the fold, okay? So then you're going to put a fold on this side. So you're going to fold it over like this, okay? And maybe what I'll do, guys, is I'll come back and I'll pull this section of the video and I'll repost for you. I'll repost it for you. Thanks, Melinda. Good morning, Miss Melinda. How are you? All right, so I'm going to put it there. So now we're going to go back, and what we're going to do is we're going to stitch straight across there. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, y'all. So we're going to stitch straight across there with a straight stitch. Let's go back over there and do that stitch right quick. So we're going to come back here, and don't forget to change your machine back to the straight stitch. I have forgotten to do that before. Okay. So we're going to grab this and we're going to stitch straight across here, and don't push or pull. Let that machine pull it. Let the machine pull your thing across. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to do the Christmas corner. Y'all ready for a Christmas corner? I call it a Christmas corner because back in the day, my mother would be like, you need a pretty corner on there because I am not the best person at wrapping gifts. So, but that's okay. So now what we're going to do, just on the edge that has binding. You see, this is the edge that has the binding. So that edge is the one you're going to put a Christmas corner. And I call it a Christmas corner because you take and you wrap it up this way, and don't go all the way up to the top. You don't want to go all the way up to the top. You're only going part of the way like this, okay? And then when you come over to the front side and you fold it, it gives you that corner. See how it gives you that corner there? So that's kind of what you want to do. And sometimes you can play with it too. go up a little bit more, down a little bit more, however it looks. And then on the other side that you don't have a binding, you're just folding up to that raw edge. Folding up to that raw edge there. So you see how we have like a Christmas corner there? I call it a Christmas corner. That's, you know, I just remember sitting and wrapping gifts with my mother. So I should call it my mom's seam. This is my mother's seam. But I just remember wrapping Christmas gifts. At Christmas, my mom, nope, you need to make it look pretty or unwrap and redo. So, yep. But she used to make the prettiest gifts. She was made some wrapped really pretty. So, all right. So we're going to put that one there. Put this one here. Grab this one. Okay. So there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the sewing machine and we're going to come down that corner. So you want to go back to the double blanket stitch. We're going to come down that corner. We're going to come all the way across the edge with that stitch. That way it looks like this. So let's go back over here again. We're going to change it over to the double blanket stitch and then increase the width. I like to increase the width. It's my personal preference. It gives a bigger stitch, and that way you know it's going and grabbing both sides. So we're going to take that off there. We're going to come here. And we're going to stitch the corner first, and it's going to go down to the corner, and then you stop there. Sometimes you need to hit the button twice. I don't use a foot pedal, okay? I don't use a foot pedal on mine. So we're going to come here. So we're going to stitch across here. Grab that off there. And you can stitch either way. You can stitch whatever way makes you comfortable. Or you do both ways. As you'll see, I do both ways. You stitch it with the fabric this way or stitch it with the fabric the other way. Either way. Either way works. And the nice thing with this stitch doesn't matter because it's the same on both sides. Same on both sides there. So trim that off. Pick that foot up. Okay. Now we're going to look at this. Y'all, this is where it gets exciting. This is where it gets exciting. Y'all, check out that corner. Check out the corner. Is that not cool? And if you come to the back side, y'all, like I said, you can't even see that stitching on the back side because it just kind of blends in with that purple fabric. So it blends in with that purple fabric. So on the front side, you have those things that's called mitered corners. I guess they're like a mitered corner there. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep going. Let's keep going, y'all. Come back to the cutting table. So we're going to take this fabric again. So you want to do a folded edge on this one. Folded edge on there. Give it a clip. Give it a clip here. And you're going to come over to the other side. And then leave a couple inches on this side. Couple inches. Just play with it. Whatever you find works for you is what you do. Right, Monica? Easy peasy. Easy peasy. I like easy peasy. And y'all, this is the easiest way. And let me grab that quilt. I'm going to show you on the quilt. Because on the quilt, it did the exact same thing on this quilt. So if you look at the quilt, exact same thing. See how it's got the corners? And then it has that stitching all the way on there. And y'all, it works out really well. It's exact same on the corners. Corners. Works out really well. So you could use it on your quilts, on your pot holders, on your placemats, however you want to do it. However you want to do it. Okay, so let's go and do a straight stitch here. We only got 2 more sides. Y'all, this is quick and easy. Quick and easy. Let's go back over to the Avenir. We're going to give it a stitch here. Back to that straight stitch. And we're going to pop that foot down. Come across here. Trim that off. Back over here. And then remember, the side that has the binding on it. You got to do the side that has the binding on it is the one you put the Christmas corner. This one over here does not need the Christmas corner because you're just folding it up, okay? That one you just fold it, and remember, you're only going to your stitch line. Only go to your stitch line. So this one right here, we're going to go and do your Christmas corner. Just remember, I call it Christmas corners. And then you fold up here like this, and come over to the other side, and give it a clip. There you have your Christmas corner. Sometimes you got to play with it a little bit, give it a bigger fold. once you've done a few of them, you'll figure it out. Once you've done a few of them, you'll figure it out. And like I said, pot holders are your easiest guinea pigs. If you use pot holders, placemats, mug rugs, you could do it on mug rugs, however you want to do it there. Come across this way, give it a fold, give it a clip, give it a clip here. And then now we're going to go back over and do that same stitch again. Back over and do that same stitch again. So we're going to do that double blanket stitch across the corner here and then come all the way over because we want to make another one of those corners because the corners is cool, right? That's an interesting way to do a mitered corner, right, Joanne? I'm not any good at mitered corners, so this is my way of figuring out how to do a mitered corner, Joanne. So we're going to come back over here to the sewing machine, going back to your double blanket stitch. So it's 3-18 on a Brother machine on my Avenir, if anybody's wanting to know. So it's the 3rd and -18. So, and again, so we're going to come down this corner. So we're going to go down that corner there. And then we're going to pick it up, and then we're going to stitch across. Stitch across here. Stitch across. And you're just centering your foot on the edge of that fabric. And when you center your foot on the edge of that fabric, that one straight stitch, and because the way that blanket stitch works, well, it's a double blanket stitch actually, is the way it works is it goes down the edge. It'll go down that edge. It goes down the edge, and then it goes back and forth. Yeah, they're kind of tough when you do it the regular way, but I like the way that you're doing it. Right, Joanne? I like easy ways. Easy way is good. I like the easy ways. So easy ways makes it nice. So, and if you look at the back, you can't see the stitching. You literally cannot see that stitching, but it's there. It is there, but it's hidden. So makes it kind of nice. So we now have 2 mitered corners. We have 2 mitered corners on there. Let's do that last side. We're going to do that last side because on the last side, we're going to end up with, you're going to do 2 mitered corners on the last side. So let's come back over here to the cutting table. So what we're going to do is we have this last side to do. So we're going to take, is that one long enough? Almost no. So I need, there it is. One more piece here. One more piece. So we're going to take that one here. So we're going to trim that off here. And we're going to take here and we're going to fold that. Put a fold here, okay? So you're going to put that fold there. We're going to put a clip. Give me that clip. So we're going to put a clip there. We're going to come across here. And again, just an inch or two. However, once you've done them a few times, you'll figure out. And it's like, that's about what I need. That's about what I need. So you're going to put a fold there. Extra is not going to hurt anything. So it's better to have too much than not enough. So I always add a little bit extra. I always add a little bit of extra there. So then we're going to put a clip down here. And then we're going to go back over there and we're going to stitch straight across. We're going to do a straight stitch right there. So we're going to go back over here. Back over here, straight stitch. We're going to move that clip there. And yes, straight stitch. I almost forgot. Okay. So we're going to come across here. And these clips, the nice thing about these clips, as you're going, you see how it just pulls off. If you have the flat side down on your machine or on those clips, they easily slide on the back side. So they slide on the back side of there. So, okay, this one here, we're going to do 2 Christmas corners. We're doing 2 Christmas corners on this one because you have 2 sides of the binding. Remember, you want to put the Christmas corner where there's a binding. If there's not a binding, you don't have to do that Christmas corner, okay? So we're going to do on this one, like I said, this is a pot holder. So pot holders are, like I said, the easiest ones to try on. So then you do 2 Christmas corners, okay? Like I said, you'll figure out how big of a Christmas corner to put. Just don't go all the way up. You don't want to go all the way up. You only want to go a partial way, okay? And then you go up to your stitch line. Don't go all the way up. You want to go up to that stitch line. Fold it over like this, and then you're grabbing this side here. Then you get your corner. put a clip here. I need to trim off those threads. Trim off those threads there. So then you have a corner. So you have a corner that we're going to stitch down. Same thing on the other side. We have a corner on this side that we're going to stitch. We'll trim that off too. We'll put that one there. Trim off those. Trim off those. Okay. So there's that there. Let's take and do. And like I said, I will go grab this section of the live and I'll post it as a video for y'all. I'll post it as a video for y'all as binding. That way y'all can see how to do the binding. We're going to put a clip here and then put a clip here. And again, you want to make sure when you're putting those clips, you see the bottom side, how it's flat. The reason they make it flat is it's sliding across that machine. It's easy to take off. Easy to take off there. So we're going to go back over to the sewing machine. We're going to do a double blanket stitch again. Last time, we're almost done with this. Almost done. Go into that double blanket stitch, which is section 3 and 3-18. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take that one off. We're going to go down here and we're going to go up that way. We're going to stop right on the corner. I said I don't use a presser foot. I just use the stop and go button. So we're going to go here. And as you'll see, as I come across here, I'm going to come across here and I'm going to get to my clip. I'm just going to slide it off. It's a lot easier than the pins. I found whoever created clips, I just say a huge thank you. Huge thank you. Big shout out to that. Grab that. And then there's there. Okay. And go up this way. Then up that way. There we go. And I'm going to give that a trim. And then back over here. Back over here. Y'all, we have officially binded that. How quick was that? How quick was that? And it looks great on both sides. It looks great on both sides. Good morning, Lori. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, is that not fun? How fun is that? Right? It's easy. It is literally easy. Just remember, in my opinion, unless you want it to show, you can have it show on the back. I always match whatever fabric you have on the back is what the bobbin thread is. So whatever thread you have on the back is what your bobbin thread is. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty. So we've officially binded that one. And like I said, I will go grab that video. I'll go grab that section. Thanks, Zoe. I'll go grab that section off of my live and repost it for y'all so y'all be able to go back and grab it. So here is this one. Here is the placemat that we created. Y'all, that was fun. That was fun. Fun times. Again, thank you for joining my live. I greatly appreciate y'all joining my live. I am on Monday through Friday. And Blazer's saying good morning. I am on Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning. We went over a little bit this morning, but that's okay. That way y'all can see the binding again. Do you have a video from the beginning? Sharon, for the whole live? You know what? Let me see if I can just repost the whole live. I'll see if I can get the whole live to repost. If I can, we'll see. Either that. Also, I'm on YT, so I'll see what I can do. Yeah, Blazer's saying good morning. Hold on, guys. Come here, Blazer. Ugh. Blazer wants to say good morning. Say good morning, Blazer. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. You say good morning? Good morning. Good morning. He's our mascot, huh? Yes, I know. I know. All right, come join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we're making mouse pads. So yes. So tomorrow we'll be making mouse pads, mug rugs, because you can use like a bigger mouse pad. With will it come over here? Let me see if I can get it over here. We're gonna see if we can come here. So as you see, you can actually use your mouse pad, your bigger mug rugs as a mouse pad. So tomorrow what we're gonna do, thank you, Vilma, thank you. So tomorrow what we're gonna do is we will be doing mouse pads and mug rugs. So come hang out tomorrow. Give us a follow if you're not giving us a follow. Give us a follow. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. Arizona time. I am in Arizona, so I'm on Pacific Standard Time right now. So it is about 6:53 right now. So You guys have a wonderful day. I will see you guys tomorrow, and thanks for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out, guys. Bye, guys. Mouse pad. Mouse pad. It helps with the mouse pad.